Quincy will be on the map with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for a Triple Crown title.
The largest karting event ever to hit the Gem City is just over a month away.
The Quincy Grand Prix is set to return after a 17-year absence, and KHQA's Lynsey Whitaker spent the afternoon at a closed practice session with some of the stars of the sport. She joins us live from South Park right now.
David and Raja, I'm currently in one of the corners right now, just right down from what will be the start-finish line for the Quincy Grand Prix. Now, when I spoke with drivers earlier today, they believe that this will be the trickiest corner on the circuit. Why? It's because there's a blind spot. You can't see what's around the corner, and at speeds at 65 and 75 miles per hour, the course may not change, but you never know what could be around the corner.
This is the most original track I think I've ever been on.
If you heard a rumble in South Park Monday, it's because the go-karts returned to the 1.2-mile course for the first time in 17 years.
This track is so unique and it's such an amazing setting. It's just really exciting to be on track back here again after so many years.
A private test session was held to prepare for the June 9th and 10th event.
The track is really fun. Once I got used to it, it was very smooth, very fast.
This is also the first time both the rookies and the veterans got to try out the new racing surface.
The veterans have been around this track a lot, but that was with the old surface, so it's kind of going to be new for them too. And yeah, we did it today and practiced a little bit, but we're also haven't ran it 20 years ago, so it's kind of going to be interesting how that all works out.
Drivers will have to set their karts up to 12 different corners and a major elevation change.
Today's practice session was very helpful in getting the setup figured out. It's been so long since we've run here.
One veteran driver says the smooth transition will pay off for the fans.
There's going to be a lot of slipping and sliding, and there's going to be a lot of passing. That was one of the first comments I got from one of our drivers earlier today.
Whether you're a rookie or a veteran, come race day, the eyes will be on the prize of winning the trophy named Gussie. That's after the founder of the event, the late Gus Trader.
There's some big names that have won here that are in NASCAR and IndyCar and sports cars now. So if you win here, you're up there with all of the legends.
We're just over a month away from the event. That is June 9th and June 10th. Terry Trader made an announcement a few weeks ago saying Quincy will be now one of a Triple Crown race series. Yes, Quincy will be on the map with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for a Triple Crown title.
Just decided, let's end it, and it just ended now until 17 years later, here we are, you know, and he passed away in June of 2016, and
the race course here at Quincy, Illinois is nothing but a sea of water, quite literally.
Go-kart racers take over Quincy South Park this weekend, and the Quincy Grand Prix wouldn't be a gem in the Gem City without founder Gus Trader. Clyde Gus Trader went on to work on a farm in his home state of Wisconsin. It wasn't until he got a management job that ultimately led him to Quincy, Illinois. And new tonight at 6, KHQA's Lynsey Whitaker sits down with Gus's son, Terry, to remember the founder of this prestigious Quincy event.
Back at the National Karting Championships in Quincy, Illinois, ready for the start of the first heat in the B Limited division.
Go-kart racing drew big crowds to the Gem City, but it took Gus Trader to get there.
his first statement out of his mouth was, "Where in the heck is Quincy, Illinois?"
Trader managed the Montgomery County Farm Store in Quincy. In 1958, Trader would bring the go-kart to the shelves of the store.
The regional manager from Montgomery Ward came in and said, "What are you doing with those things?" So I thought it'd be a good thing to sell. We think we could sell. We don't want to do that. That's not what we want to do. So he said, okay.
Trader took the carts and started selling them out of his garage. He was also a racer himself. Trader could be found racing at a small track in Payson, Illinois until he was banned for 30 days.
I went over to West Quincy and found a spot, built his track in July of 1961. It opened up and just basically the rest is history.
In 1970, Quincy South Park would host their inaugural kart racing event.
Gus come running into the back and he says, "You got a go-kart here that'll run?" I said, "Well, sure." He says, "Can you load it in a truck and meet us at South Park?" And I looked at him kind of funny and I says, "Well, yeah."
Trader told longtime worker and mechanic Stanley Long to take the first laps around the historic park.
I crawled on the cart, and originally we went the way the traffic goes now. And I come back in and told him, I says, "That's not going to work. You're going to have the biggest wreck down there in that creek you've ever seen.
After the race in 2001, the races at the park would come to a halt due to low entry numbers and a deteriorating track surface. In 2013, Gus Trader was inducted into the Quincy Chamber of Commerce Hall of Fame. 3 years later, in 2016, at 90 years old, Clyde Gus Trader passed away.
At his funeral and his eulogy, I talked about how he had, in his life, he had backed into about anything that he could. He's backed into mailboxes or babysitters, cars, signs. He backed into everything because he never, in his life, he never looked back. He was always looking forward.
But it wasn't until his final lap that truly sent Trader home to the Lord.
There was a go-kart that we got, one of our rental racing carts, and it led the procession around the park. And he took the green flag and we went around the park. We must have had 50 vehicles or something like that. And then he took the checkered and we drove into Greenmount Cemetery and you know, that's where he rests.
Not only was it Trader's talent and promotions that will leave his mark on the community, it was also his drive.
He was very firm, and people knew when he made a decision and he made a rule, he would stick with it. And people like that. And he loved to speak on the microphone. He was very good at it. He loved to throw that green flag and the checker flags.
17 years later, Trader's son and champion, Terry, agreed to bring back the South Park kart races, now called the Quincy Grand Prix.
And that's another reason why I did it, in honor of him and the fact that this was such a big part of his life. And so we, you know, why not give it a go?
Terry will honor his father this weekend with the special trophy awarded to the race winners.
That's the Gussie, you know. I won a Quincy Park race, and it was really, really hard to win it. So that's why I created that trophy in honor of him.
And although Gus won't be throwing the first green flag this weekend, he'll be watching right across the street where he is laid to rest.
We're just 14 hours away from the first practice session scheduled to roll out on the 1.2-mile course. Now, local businesses and drivers spent the day setting up at the historic park, and that's where we find KHQA's Lynsey Whitaker. Lynsey, what kind of an impact will a large-scale event like this have on the community?
Marcus, I spoke with Holly Kane earlier today, who says she believes this event is going to draw in 7 figures to the community alone. Now, I'm currently in the Margay Racing pit area, and they have 30 different carts that will hit the track here tomorrow. Now, these carts will represent 6 different states, and they've rented out over 50 hotel rooms. Talk about an economic impact just right here in this tent area.
It's a large event. There is so much local interest in this event and from the karting world.
The largest karting event to hit the Gem City in nearly 2 decades is finally here. With 240 plus racing entries, this event is sure to put a boost in the local economy.
It's about a $1.2 million economic impact this year, doing some conservative numbers with the karters, their pit crew, and their employees coming in with them, and then the spectators.
According to Holly Kane with the Quincy Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, nearly 15,000 people are expected to visit Quincy South Park this weekend.
I know the Park District is hoping for about 5,000 people on Saturday and possibly upwards of 10,000 people on Sunday.
Nearby workers at Hy-Vee on Harrison have spent hours preparing for the racing event.
Not too many events come on our side of town, so I mean it's kind of our neighborhood, so I mean we want to embrace everything that comes in our neighborhood.
When the event was in town 17 years ago, Hy-Vee was located in a smaller strip store building.
Now we have a bigger store, more capability and more holding power, and we have a gas station now, so it just kind of ties in all.
But you may wonder how people located at an event on the south side of Quincy will impact the rest of the town.
They'll stay in the downtown hotels. Blues in the District is going on Friday night, so there are other events going on in the area that they can take part in, and they'll be eating and dining and spending their dollars in the whole community.
Now coming up tonight on KHQA News at 10, I'm actually getting ready to head to a meet and greet where kart racing star, IndyCar star, Daytona 24-hour star Scott Pruitt is going to be there, and I'll catch up with him and see why he decided to make the trip back to the Gem City to race in this prestigious event.